I've promised you guys for a little while now a video about some of the problems of doing stock footage. Let's just have a brew, let's have a chat over this. Some of you said, and this is very similar to when I first started, that you've uploaded some stock footage and you're going to see how it does. I think that's a really good way to do it. When I started, I uploaded about 70 clips and left them up there for about a year. Didn't add any more. Now, I know we get these videos on YouTube where they say consistency is key. And if you're going to really get into something, that is very true. But there's nothing wrong with putting what's on your hard drive, seeing how it does. For me, I was getting a little bit sick of doing it. And then I saw this one clip that kept selling, and that gave me the feedback. I knew then what to upload. And also, I'd improved my skills over the course of the year. I was able to go in with better equipment, better skills, and I was filming other things I was getting paid for, so it made me a better filmmaker, and then the ball really got going. So if you feel like you've uploaded some stock footage, you feel like you need a break, that's not giving up. It's just trying it, come back to it with fresh eyes in the future, and then you may be more equipped to get into it and really go for it. At the end of the day, it's what works for you. Find the right balance between work and family life. Anyway, let's get more specifically about the problems of doing stock footage. The first problem is how daunting it is to start with the amount of competition that's up there. At the moment, at the time of recording, there's 33 million clips on Pond5. 15,000 new clips are uploaded every day. And you can think to yourself, why is anyone even going to look at my footage? There's these stunning locations already up there. Do remember though that there's a need for local news reports. They might need something just of that county. You can have these stunning shots off in Bali, off in New York. And that's where all the influencers are gathered, aren't they, in Bali at the moment? Are they going to be shooting Denby Town? No, I'm there before them. So just remember that, guys. There is a need for some more, I wouldn't say bad footage, but just more natural than what we see on all these reels and everything. Don't be intimidated by the numbers, but it is something to bear in mind that if you have a portfolio of 500 clips, over time the value of that is going to diminish. So if you've got footage already in London, in a year's time there's going to be more people filming there. Be realistic about how over time you either need to produce more footage or the value of your portfolio is going to diminish. Then the next problem with doing stock footage is the time doing the metadata and the clipping. Time is the most precious resource we have. For me, it's been well worth doing stock footage. So for one person, doing the work, putting it up there means that you've got more time, you don't have to deal with clients. For another person, if they've already got tons of money, it might not be worth doing because that's time you could be worth spending with your family. Again, I think it's worth giving it a go. You do get faster at doing the clipping, doing the keywords, all that things, the more you do it. But you always have to balance, have a healthy work-life balance. And for one person, something's worth doing, for another, it isn't. That's why I think the idea I said before about putting the footage that you've got on your hard drive already, having a break, decide, do you really want to do footage for doing stock, or is it something you have on the side? That's something only you can decide. So the next problem with doing stock is, I've alluded to it a little bit before, and that's the cost of creating the footage. It does take some money to go from location to location. Like I said, this year, actually previous year, I've spent more time filming in my own country. A really good cost-saving piece of advice is, if you're going from one spot, then remember to do a stop on the way. Then you're increasing the amount of footage that you're capturing. Don't just head off to the places like London that you think, that's definitely going to sell. It can do, but there's also a lot of competition there. So you might stop on another city on the way to that. Those places, those tier downs, often give you a higher chance of selling because there's less competition. You can produce some solid shots, local news reports, that sort of thing. One of the other most discouraging thing actually, this is not just with stock footage, but a lot of things, is to do with the algorithm. When we're first starting something, we're always far down the list, aren't we? And it can feel very off-putting. If you're a beginner to stock footage, don't check what page you are because it will be very depressing. Just focus on, like I said before, your local area. Maybe not the local, don't go too niche like the local town, but your nearest city that isn't on the top list. That's a really good place to start. That gives you a higher chance to get seen by the buyers. And in time, if you do get into it, most importantly of all guys, if you enjoy doing it, that is the key thing. I think with all these things, if you try and trick the algorithm, you watch all these videos about use this and that, and then you'll get to the top, the cream will rise to the top. If your work's good enough and you do stick at it, then you will climb higher up the algorithm. You might not be right at the top, but you will become more searchable. So don't drive yourself crazy about all these tactics of how you rise to the top, because then you're becoming a bit too outcome focused. Focus on your own work. Most importantly of all, focus on enjoying what you're doing. The great thing about stock is you are creating regular content. So at the end of the day, if you're getting better, then that can be used for other things, creating vlog channel, whatever. So always keep it in balance and don't expect to become a millionaire overnight doing this. And I think for a lot of people, it's going to be worthwhile doing. How much time you put into it, that's completely up to you, but give it a go and see how you get on. The final problem with stock, and this is something that it's a contentious issue and people get very upset on the forums I've seen with this, is to do with whether the companies in the future lower the commission rate. To some extent, that's something out of our hands. On the other hand, that could be the case with anything. Amazon could slash how much they give the affiliates on YouTube. YouTube could potentially change how much we're given as contributors. The lesson from this is not to become over-reliant on one source of income. I do think as more and more contributors get involved in stock footage, over time, gradually the commission rates will decrease. I mean, look at what's happened with stock photography. So again, this is something to think about. Don't remortgage your house, go and get footage equipment just to do stock footage, go on these exotic locations just to do stock footage. You're putting yourself at risk there. You want to be keeping the cost down low, use the equipment you've got already, put up what you've got on the hard drive already, see how it goes. Then when you've got some money coming in, then you can reinvest that money. Don't get yourself overextended. But yeah, I do think stock footage is a lot of fun. It's not for everyone. If you're not enjoying it, there are other ways to make money with your drone. I do think weddings is a great avenue for a lot of people. That's a much more guaranteed source of income. I've done a video on 5 ways of making money with your drone, discussing some of the other ways. So have a look at that and check out my tutorials as well, guys. Thanks for watching and I'll speak to you soon.